Welcome, gun runner.
Hello everybody, Kieran aka the Laird here, and this is an intro to a main video, so to speak, and one that I'm actually quite excited to show you. And I talked about this actually last week in my Laird's Lowdown video, where I mentioned I had a really cool video coming up that I couldn't wait to show you. And yes, it's this time that I'm ready now to unveil it to the world, so to speak. And what this video is, as you might have seen from the title, but I'll explain a little bit more, is that about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I'm trying to remember when it was now, about that, 3 weeks ago, I think it was, I got the chance to go to the Telegames warehouse in Leicester in the UK. And it's something I've been planning for quite a while, but it was trying to nail down a date of when to do it with Pete Mortimer, who's been the long-time owner and founder of Telegames, who are one of the oldest video game companies in the world that still exist. Certainly in the UK, there's an argument over who's the oldest in the UK. There's a few people who claim it, and Pete is one of them. So yes, it's somewhere I've always wanted to go. I mean, and to give a bit of background, when I was a kid, I bought tons of stuff from Telegames. Absolutely loads of 2600 games I bought from them back in the day. And I had a friend of mine who went to their shop in Leicester because they actually had a chain of shops across the Midlands in the UK. But the main shop where the warehouse was in Leicester, just outside Leicester, a place called Kilby Bridge, where it was, apparently the shop was amazing. Apparently, especially for Atari fans, it was like a holy grail place because they had everything. So they were an official Atari dealer, and they had every game you could think of. Because they're a mail order company, they'd always have like every game in stock all the time. So I'd heard from my friend who went there. He's just said it was the greatest shop he'd ever been to, and he could have spent so much money. And he bought a couple of games, but said he could have bought the whole shop. It was that cool. And I also had these dreams of how magical it must have been, but I'd never got the chance to go there. And so this was finally like a dream come true. Although the shop is long gone, the warehouse is still there. It's smaller than it was because Pete was actually showing me it's basically an old farm, and all the farm buildings were converted into the warehouse that he used to keep all his games in. And he was showing me how much space he originally had because he's actually in the process of moving, and he's closing it all down. Not closing it all down, but he's getting rid of lots of the stuff, which I'll go into in a moment. And trying to close all these buildings down so they're all empty, and he's down to one building left, and that's only half full. So I never got to see its pomp, I suppose, when you had more than one building, and I never got to see the shop. But I was still very excited to see what was there and some of the stuff that he had. And one of the reasons why I went was not just because I wanted to see it for myself and get a tour and chat with Pete and have a look. I mean, I've talked to Pete so many times over the years, but never met him face to face. I've interviewed him numerous times for Retro Gamer magazine and other things, and bought stuff from him and still buy stuff from him because obviously he distributes the Songbird stuff in the UK as well for the Lynx and Jaguar. So yeah, but also because he wanted to get rid of loads of stuff, and because I've known him for so long, he said, "Would you be interested in buying any of it off me?" And I was like, "Yes." And he said, "I've got loads of stuff that's not even listed on my website. So you're happy to just come along and just go for it. Just go through my warehouse, pick out anything you want, make boxes up." And we filled my entire car with stuff. And my car isn't that small. It's a Nissan Juke. So it's a decent sized car, an SUV. And we filled the whole thing full of stock from Pete's. All the back seats, all the boot. Yeah, I couldn't have got any more in there. It was packed to the rafters. And I bought so much stuff off him. I spent so much money, it was ridiculous. He gave me a nice discount, obviously, but I bought a ton of stuff, including stuff. I bought consoles off him. I got some ColecoVision consoles off him, including a French one, a UK one. I'll look at them coming up. I've got a video I'm going to do on the ColecoVision coming up, obviously. Tons of games, mostly games, is what I bought from him. And he had some really rare stuff that wasn't listed on his website that I managed to pick up. And I've grabbed some bits and pieces which I've got to the side of me, because I'm going to show you the video in a minute of the tour. But one thing I should mention is, actually, I didn't think about it because I was so excited, is that I did the video, it shows his warehouse and everything in it, after I'd raided it. So actually loads of the stuff that I bought you won't see in the video because I'd already taken it off the shelves. It was already in boxes in my car. Because actually I was so excited. I went, blah, blah, blah. And then my wife said to me, "Weren't you going to do a video?" And Pete said, "Oh yeah, do your video." And I was like, "Oh bugger, I should have done that first." But yeah, I was like a kid in a sweet shop. It was so exciting. So I'll show you a few bits that I've just randomly grabbed. And the first thing I want to mention is that yeah, it had tons of stuff from like, because Telegames used to publish games. They still do for the Lynx and Jaguar. They still reproduce their old games, but they don't publish new games. But because they used to publish games for ColecoVision, they did ColecoVision, Intellivision, 2600, Lynx, Jaguar, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. So they used to publish games for loads of systems. So we still had loads of that stuff hanging around from when he used to make games. And like he had boxes and boxes of these, and I've got them all because he just gave them to me because he didn't want them. I've got boxes and boxes of cartridge labels for all different Telegames releases. So for example, that's Kung Fu Super Kicks there. I just tore off a few off the roll, but they're like huge rolls like this of cartridge labels for like all the Telegames releases and stuff like that. He had the chrome front stickers, look, for ColecoVision consoles, hundreds of those, because Telegames were the official distributor for the ColecoVision in the UK. They were the only place you could buy it. So he had hundreds of these, brand new. He had hundreds of old Telegames catalogues like these. You can see here for their 2600 games. So loads of those. There's some posters and stuff as well. I'm just trying to grab because I've buried them under some of the other stuff. So, for example, he had some posters on the wall, which you'll see when I do the video as well. But like this is a poster for the video they did of What Video Game, which was a guide they did. I think it was in Christmas '89. I think it is. Of showing you what consoles were on the market. Yeah, because the Lynx has got like an early preview for it. It's got the Conix multi-system on it as well. And yeah. And it's just, yeah, Conix is up the top. So incredibly cool that they put that on there thinking it was about to come out and it never came out. And that is on my YouTube channel. I've got a rip, which I put up on my YouTube channel with Pete's permission some time ago, because he gave me a DVD copy of it and I ripped that and got it onto, what was it, VHS thing? He'd ripped it from VHS to DVD. I ripped it from DVD to the computer and put it on YouTube. I'll link that down below if anyone wants to see it, because it's an incredible time capsule. It's so worth watching. What Video Game. It's supposed to help parents decide what game system to get your kids, basically. I know it's got his phone number and fax number on the back of that poster. So I've got some things like that. I'm trying to think. Yeah, actually, there is the inlay for the VHS tape of it. So that's really cool, isn't it? There we go. The VHS inlay for What Video Game. So that says about it all there. Brilliant thing to have. And he gave me these as well. I'll just grab this. God, I nearly dropped it then. So look at that. The latest from Lynx. So this folder had official price lists and stuff in it from Atari. And he gave me all sorts of bits and pieces that were with that. So I've got, for example, the Lynx Log magazine that I've looked at on my channel before. That's the Italian version. So why he had a load of them, I don't know. But I've got an Italian Lynx Log magazine, Lynx user magazines. I'll look at these on the channel. Atari Entertainment magazines. He had loads of these, so I grabbed a load of them, which I'll look at on the channel in due course. He had loads of old, obviously Atari catalogues like this, still sealed. There we go, consumer price list. So that's from September '92. So it's got the Lynx, the portfolio. This tells you what you should be charging at retail. There's the Atari 2600, ST. Yeah, so very cool to have that indeed. Here's another cool thing. This is a catalogue, official Atari catalogue for the XE and XE game system. I mean, I'll do a video on all of these on the channel, but you can see, yeah, with all the games and stuff in. So cool. Atarian video game magazine. So there's another one. dealer price lists and stuff. But that's got the links in it. So some links, games and stuff in the back. That's really cool as well. So he gave me a ton of this stuff, and he gave me this, this old official Atari folder to put it all in. So I'll stick that all over to one side again and get it out of the way. Yeah, tons of games. I'll just grab those. So obviously, had loads of the original Telegames releases like these. These are all still sealed for Armour Ambush. I've got tons of them though. There's a sealed Bogey Blaster. There's a sealed Football. I've got most of them though. Frogs and Flies, Kung Fu Super Kicks somewhere. Tons of sealed games. Brand new sealed old Telegames releases. Some other bits and pieces are there. Well, there's Kung Fu Super Kicks. I knew I had one handy. It's a brand new Kung Fu Super Kicks. And then he had a few of the Telegames releases for the ColecoVision, which are extremely rare. You never see them. So, for example, Motocross Racer. And I've got a load of these as well. So I've got a load of them. Tournament Tennis, another one, very rare. Actually, there's another one. I've left it down here. Sorry, yes. So here's the other one, which I'd left aside. A Telegames release, officially licensed release they did of Boulder Dash. Ultra rare, because they released this, and just as they released it, they lost the license to it. It expired, so they weren't allowed to sell them anymore. But I have quite a few of them because Pete sold them to me because he couldn't sell them officially, but he could sell them to me and then I could sell them as second hand. He didn't want to breach his license, but by selling them to me first, he could do. So I was just trying to put it back on the shelf there behind me. So I've got one for myself, obviously, but if you're interested in a Boulder Dash to ColecoVision, you know where to come because I've got some. Here's another rare game. This is the Australian release of Pete Rose Baseball for the Atari 7800. It's not sealed, but as you can see, it's absolutely mint, brand new. Perfect condition. Another extremely rare game. A few more things, actually. I should have shown you these when I showed you the posters. But he's got loads of merchandise that was given away at trade shows and stuff by Atari. So this is an Atari Jaguar, official Atari Jaguar polo shirt, and a t-shirt as well. I've got a hat somewhere as well, and he's got Jaguar catalogues in the back of them. You can see that's how they were given away at trade shows. So because basically when Atari UK shut down, and that was the last, and Atari UK had already taken all the stock from Atari Benelux and Atari Germany, which are the other two regional parts of Atari Europe that were still surviving sort of almost until the end. But the last one standing was Atari UK. But Telegames took all of their stock when they closed down, so we could sell it all for mail order. And there's actually a very funny story she told me ages back, where apparently when they shut down, they said that they would send a truck with all the stock to him, and he was expecting like a lorry worth of inventory, and it was 3 Arctics turned up full to the top of Atari stock of everything you could possibly think of in there. And he said it took him an entire day with some other people to unload it, to unload each lorry. And so 3 days in total to unload these 3 lorries, because they were so packed full. There was so much stock that he couldn't get it all in his warehouse, and actually had it all in his house and everything, much to his wife's dismay. I met his wife, she was lovely as well. So yeah, he told me all the stories about how much stock they had. It was unbelievable. And there was so much stuff he still had, actually. I left behind some stuff that I just couldn't get in the car. Like he had loads of brand new Atari monitors, for example, still in his warehouse. But you'll see on the video loads of the Jaguar and Link stuff that he's still got, and some other stuff, some PC Engine stuff he's still got. There's all sorts of stuff. I've also got a brand new ZX Spectrum Plus 3, which I should have grabbed to show you on the camera as well. But you don't see many of them. Brand new in its box Spectrum Plus 3, which he said he's left over from when he actually had the chain of shops, and it just got buried under loads of other stuff, and he didn't realise he still had it. Yeah, mad, absolutely mad. Some of the stuff I got was great, and you'll see like on the Video's still got stuff like he's got a box Super Graphics console. You don't see many of them about either. Brand new in box PC Engine Super Graphics. Wow, so much cool stuff. But anyway, this intro's already been a bit too long, although the video of the warehouse is going to be fairly short. There wasn't that much to show, I suppose. It's not going to be like a really long video, but I still hope you enjoy it. And I really wanted to show you all this cool stuff that I've got, and show you, with Pete Mortimer's kind permission, the what's left of the legendary Telegames warehouse. And it's a shame that it's mostly being shut down because Pete wants to retire and they want to sell their house and downsize a bit. And he, for those wondering, he is going to keep on selling Jaguar and Lynx, but that's all he's going to deal in. He wants to get rid of everything else. He's getting rid of all his Nintendo stuff as well, because he had loads of that. I wasn't so interested in that. He had actually had quite a bit of Dreamcast stuff as well, which he is planning to get rid of as well, but I couldn't get any more in the car, as I say. But yeah, he's getting rid of everything except Atari. And just as a little retirement thing, to keep him busy as something to do, he's going to continue selling Lynx and Jaguar stock, including the new games from Songbird, obviously, that he distributes in the UK, being the official distributor for Songbird. So he'll carry on that relationship with Cole forehand, which is great to see. But anyway, enjoy my tour of the Telegames warehouse, and I can't wait to see what you think down in the comments.